There's this hidden health crisis happening right now, and it affects literally millions of people. And the whole story? Well, it starts deep inside your gut. Okay, let me ask you something. Do you ever just feel, off? You know that feeling? A kind of fatigue that just won't quit? Or that super frustrating bloating? Or maybe it's a brain fog that makes it impossible to focus. It's so easy to just brush this stuff off, right? Oh, it's just modern life. But what if those feelings are actually trying to tell you something really important? Because what if those feelings are actually subtle signals, all pointing to one deeper issue? And that issue is chronic low-grade inflammation. Now, this is not just some buzzword you see on the internet. Nope. It's a very real biological state that scientists are now linking to a huge range of health problems, everything from digestive issues to autoimmune conditions. And hey, if you're feeling this way, you are absolutely not alone. I mean, check this out. A staggering 60% of people say they struggle with gut problems, and that's often the very first sign of this kind of simmering underlying inflammation. This is a massive problem affecting millions, and it is way past time we started taking it seriously. All right, so let's dive into this. What is this invisible health crisis all about, really? Well, to get it, we first need to understand what inflammation actually is. Okay, so imagine your immune system has this big master on switch. Now, when you get a cut or you're fighting off a cold, you definitely want that switch flipped on. That's a good thing, it's protective. The real problem starts when that switch gets stuck. When it's just stuck in the on position, running 24/7. That's when it starts causing, friendly fire, damage to your own body. I absolutely love this analogy from Dr. Bulsiewicz. He's a gastroenterologist, and it just paints such a clear picture. He says to think of your immune system as your body's own personal army. And what happens when an army is constantly at war? It doesn't just beat the enemy, right? It creates massive collateral damage all around it. And in this case, that damage is happening to your own healthy tissues and organs. Okay, so if our immune system is this army, the big question is, what's causing it to be on high alert all the time? Well, it turns out that for about 80% of that army, the main barracks, they're located in one specific place, your gut. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it's like a devastating chain reaction, a domino effect. Just picture your gut as a castle that's under siege. The very first domino to fall, that's your microbiome. Those 38 trillion little microbes that act as the outer guards. When they get wiped out, bam, the second domino falls. The castle wall itself, your gut lining, it starts to break down. And that breach, that crack in the wall, sounds the alarm. And then the third domino topples. Your immune system army, stationed inside the castle walls, goes into a full-blown panic, and it just starts attacking everything inside. So this breakdown of the castle wall, you've probably heard of it. It's often called leaky gut. All it really means is that the gut lining has become permeable. It's got these little holes in it, and that allows things like undigested food particles and toxins to sneak into your bloodstream where they absolutely do not belong. And that is what puts your immune system on permanent high alert, driving that chronic body-wide inflammation. Okay, so we've seen how a damaged microbiome can set off this whole cascade of problems. But what if you could just hit a reset button? What if you could just start over, get a brand new one? Well, that's where the idea of the ultimate gut reset comes into play. And I know it might sound a little shocking, but a fecal microbiota transplant is a really powerful medical procedure that does exactly that. We're not just talking about adding a few good bugs from a probiotic pill here. No, this is a complete ecosystem transplant. It's like rebooting a person's entire gut with a thriving, healthy community of microbes from a donor. And the results? They can be absolutely incredible. Just listen to the story of Michelle, who was one of Dr. Bulsiewicz's patients. A powerful antibiotic had completely annihilated her gut microbiome. This allowed a deadly superbug called C. diff to just take over. I mean, her colon was so inflamed, it was literally about to burst. Her organs were shutting down. She was in the ICU, she was delirious, and she was fading fast. The doctors had one last shot before they had to surgically remove her entire colon, a fecal transplant. And the result? It was nothing short of a miracle, a complete and total transformation. The very next morning, the infection was just gone. She was sitting up in bed, she was clear-headed, and she was asking for breakfast. Her life was saved. Not by some new fancy drug or a major surgery, but by the absolutely astonishing power of a healthy gut. Dr. Bulsiewicz has this amazing way of describing it. He says it's like taking the entire Amazon rainforest and transplanting it into a barren, empty field, and then just watching it instantly teem with life. It's a complete ecosystem overhaul, and it just goes to show how much incredible power resides right there, inside our gut. Okay, so Michelle's story is just wow. It's such a powerful reminder of the microbiome's incredible ability to heal. But here's the really fantastic news. You do not need a fecal transplant to harness that power. The solution is actually so much simpler, and it starts with what you put on your plate for your very next meal. So think of these 4 food groups as your gut healing prescription, because honestly, most of us are completely missing them. First up, fiber. This is the #1 food for your good microbes, period. Second, polyphenols. These are the vibrant colors you see in plants, and they act like fertilizer for your gut. Third, healthy fats. We're talking about the kinds you get from nuts, seeds, and avocados that actively fight inflammation. And fourth, fermented foods. Things like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut. They're scientifically proven to boost microbial diversity and calm down that overactive immune system. Let's just zoom in on fiber for a second, because these numbers are genuinely shocking to me. 95% of Americans, 95, and 90% of people in the UK don't get even the minimum recommended daily amount. I mean, the vast majority of us are basically starving our good bacteria. We're not giving them the food they need to even survive, let alone thrive. So, why all the fuss about fiber? Here's the crucial part. When your good gut bacteria munch on fiber, they produce something amazing. They're called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs for short. And you can just think of these as little superheroes for your body. Seriously, they are the most anti-inflammatory substance known to science. They heal your gut lining, they balance your immune system, they're the ones who tell that internal army to stand down. It's a really simple equation. More fiber equals more SCFAs. It's that direct. All right, so we've covered the why, right? Why the gut is so critical for taming inflammation. So now let's get practical. Let's talk about the how. How do we actually apply all of this to our real daily lives? Let's go ahead and design the perfect gut day. Because it's not just what you do, it's also when you do it. Let's walk through this blueprint. Around 7 a.m., wake up and get some sunlight. That helps set your body's master clock. Then at 8 a.m., it's time for that high-fiber breakfast to fuel your microbes right when your metabolism is fired up. Around noon, maybe a social lunch and a quick 10-minute walk to help with digestion and blood sugar. Then, try to finish dinner by 5 or 6 p.m. This gives your gut plenty of time to rest overnight. And finally, a consistent bedtime, say around 10 p.m., letting your body do its repair work. You see how each step kind of supports the next? If there's one golden rule to take away from all of this for a healthy gut, it's this. Consistency is everything. Your body and all those trillions of microbes living inside you, they do not like surprises. They absolutely thrive on a predictable, reliable routine. And I really want to leave you with something that I think is one of the most hopeful and empowering facts in all of health science. Remember that gut lining, that castle wall we talked about? Well, the cells that make it up, they completely regenerate every 3 to 5 days. This isn't some long, slow process that takes years. You have this incredible, constant opportunity to rebuild and to heal. Think about what that means. It means the choices you make starting right now, today, can literally build you a stronger, healthier gut barrier by this time next week. The power to transform your health is quite literally in your hands. So the real question is, what are you going to do with the next 5 days?